Mr. One Singularity has an absolute ton of questions. He's a long time viewer though, and I will answer all the questions, but there are a lot of them, so we're going to go fairly quickly through them. Number 1, do you like Oasis? I do indeed like Oasis. What is your favourite Oasis song? I'd have to say it's a toss-up between Wonderwall, Don't Look Back in Anger, and Champagne Souvenir, but yes, I know it can't get more cliche than those 3 songs, but there you go, my Oasis taste is just that generic. What do you think of the Oasis album Be Here Now? I know a lot of people don't like that album, but I actually really do like it quite a bit. It's probably one of my favourites. I mean, it's not the strongest, but to me Oasis only really ever had 2 strong albums, and the others are all a bit of a mixed bag. Do you like Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds? Yes, but only really with their second album, which impressed me a lot, and I reviewed earlier in the year. Check that out if you haven't already, but the debut really didn't do much for me. Do you like the Mark Langan Band? I don't know who they are. Do you like Sex Pistols? Yes, I love them. I reviewed in a random review, Never Mind the Bollocks is a Sex Pistols a while ago, I think it was last year, and it's one of my top 100 favourite albums of all time, a band that I've loved for as long as I can remember, so yeah. Do you like Libertines? Kinda. Pete Doherty and Co. I think Up the Bracket's a decent album, but I mean, I don't own it. I probably should though. I think I could get a bit more into the Libertines. I don't know if I'd see them live over there. Will you still review when you go to uni? Yeah, hopefully. Who has the best bands, UK or USA? Oh, that's a really hard one. I'd have to just about say the UK, and the only reason for that is just because progressive rock, in my opinion, is just such a UK genre. And not to say that some more like modern US prog bands like Dream Theater and Spock's Beard aren't absolutely wonderful, because they really, really are. And not to say Europe doesn't have a load of amazing prog bands like the Polish Riverside and Swedish Anglagard and Beardfish, and there's so many amazing prog bands in so many great countries, but to me, progressive rock, which is probably my favourite genre, is all about Genesis, yes, Camel, Gentle Giant, the Canterbury Scene, and those bands just can't be matched, combined with the early metal bands and you know, just the classic 70s rock bands like Zeppelin, Floyd, Free, all of those. Number 10, why do you have a Bolton Wanderers wallpaper in your room? Well, I don't anymore, I now just have white walls, but yeah, I used to be a big Bolton Wanderers fan, but I painted over it now, and I can't say I'm really into football anymore. I still watch like the World Cup, and I'll probably watch the Euros next year, but football just doesn't appeal to me that much. Do you like Baby Shambles? Not really. Do you like the Kinks? Definitely killer band. Do you hate music do you hate music snobs? I'm certainly no fan of music elitism. I consider myself to have a rather broad taste, and I certainly try and listen to a lot of albums outside of my comfort zone, even if they're artists or genres that I really don't usually particularly care for. But particularly I hate like black metal elitists, thrash elitists, and Radiohead elitists. Elitists are just quite annoying, and I think people will look down upon you if you don't like a certain genre of music or you don't like a certain band. I just think that's wrong. Who are you to really say that band is better than another? I don't think you're anyone to. What do you think of Downfall's review channel on YouTube? Random question there, but yeah, he's a good reviewer and a decent guy. Don't know what else to say about that. Would you like to see me do some reviews on YouTube? Yeah, the more reviewers in the music community, the merrier. What's the best Smiths album? If someone put a gun to my head and told me to choose a best Smiths album, then they'd be shoot me dead because I hate them all. Morrissey can go to hell. Do you like Stone Roses? No. What's the best Stone Roses album? No. Oasis and Stone Roses are good enough to be considered classic bands. Oasis, definitely, even though they only had kind of 3 good albums and only 2 of them are really that consistent. And I suppose Stone Roses deserve to, because they've achieved a pretty great level of acclaim and fame. I suppose, why not? Who's the best, Oasis or Stone Roses? Oasis. Is this 21st question, does it rule? Sure. List all the Oasis albums in order of worst to first. Okay, because there's a lot of bad Oasis albums. I'd say Heathen Chemistry is probably my least favourite. Then Don't Believe in Truth, Standing on the Shoulder of Giants, Dig Out Your Soul, because the second half of that's pretty weak, even though I really like the first half. Then Be Here Now, definitely maybe, and of course, What's the Story, Morning Glory as the best. Do you like the Rolling Stones' Exile Main Street? Great album. I don't quite think it really needed to be a double album, and I do think it's a bit overrated and does have some filler. It's no Blonde on Blonde in terms of double albums, but it's pretty damn good. Cats or Dogs? Cats, I actually hate them, quite scared of dogs. Is there a Mrs. Album Man, Album Woman? No, there isn't. Do you appreciate Glastonbury Festival? I mean, it has its place. It's not something that massively appeals to me. My issue with Glasgow is more, I really don't like the culture of buying a ticket to a music festival before any of the bands have actually been announced. To me, you should go to a music festival because you like the bands there, not just go to it for the sheer sake of going to it. I really dislike that culture, how it sells out instantly without one band being announced. Do you like the diversity of Glastonbury? Yeah, sure. Do you think ISIS is real or a fabrication of a fake enemy to assist government policies going forward? Wow, an interesting turn of events, going from music questions to talking about serious current affairs and world affairs. I mean, I'm not going to talk that much on this, but I'll take Occam's razor, the idea that what has the simplest explanation is most likely what's true, and I think it's far more likely that ISIS is a real organisation, and it certainly makes a lot of sense for them to be real, so sure. 29. If zombies walked into your room right now, what would you pick up in order to smash its head in? Probably guitar. It'd be amusing, and there's one right at hand. 30. If you go to uni, we state reviews for uni digs. You've already asked that. 31. Are you left wing or right wing? I'm basically a left wing libertarian. Whenever I've done the social political compass test, I'm very much in that left corner, pretty libertarian, and definitely a bit socialist. If you were granted temporary invisibility powers, what would you check out first? A. Girls changing rooms. B. Backstage at Glastonbury. Or C. Sneak into a cinema. What a weird question. B. I probably would have sneaked into Glastonbury if that was still on, because I could have met Lemmy, and that would have been cool. Number 34. Have you ever had a fight? No. Oh, I missed one way. In a zombie apocalypse, would you resort to cannibalism when the food stocks ran out? Well, I mean, if the food stocks really did run out, I suppose you'd want to start with trying to eat the dead people, which, as horrible as it sounds, it's kind of what you'd have to do in that situation. I mean, I couldn't kill someone to eat them. I mean, I couldn't, like, hunt a person, but I suppose if they were already dead and had not turned into a zombie by dying, then sure. But only as a last resort, obviously. Who do you think would win in a pit fight between Glenn Danzig, Henry Rollins and Pete Steele? I can't say something I think about too often if those three got in a fight, but I'm going to have to go for Pete Steele, because that guy is huge. He's like 2 meters tall, and I would not mess around with that guy. All of them would probably do pretty well. They all strike me as kind of tough guys. 36. What do you think to recent pictures of Dave Mustaine showing aborting evidence? Should he shave it off or fight against it? Go on, fight it, Dave. Why not? Would you consider a shaved head? No, I would not consider a shaved head. I would really not suit that. I have a massive forehead. Pick your favourite band of Nirvana or Oasis. Oasis, I guess. But I like them both. Chippy or curry for takeaway? Curry, I don't really like chips outside of Belgium. I know that sounds really pretentious, but it's actually kind of true. 40. What is this question? Right, I'll try to read this with a straight face. If you got a prostitute pregnant, would you look after the baby or deny it's yours? Just what the actual fuck is that question? I don't know, Mr. Singularity. I'm just going to try and avoid that circumstance from ever taking place. It's relatively easy to avoid that from ever happening, so I'll just do that. Where do you store all your music, and will you need additional space? At the moment, it's by my feet, a lot of my CDs, because yes, I really need a lot of additional space. When you go to uni, will you take a select few of your music items, and if so, how do you decide what makes the cut? I don't know. I was usually going to take some CDs and some vinyl, but I'm thinking I'll just rip my CDs, even though that's illegal now, onto my computer, so at least I can access them on my iTunes or whatever, and then I'll just take some of my LPs with me. And yeah, it's going to be an absolute pain having to get a freaking record player and my amplifier down to uni with me, along with records which are heavy as hell. Which ones I'll take, no freaking clue. That is going to take me years and hours to, it's going to be a very long time to decide that. What's next? Have you ever burnt, snapped, or destroyed some other destroyed some other way a CD or vinyl due to being immensely disappointed with it? No, I'm not that aggressive or destructive. Have you ever considered sacking metal off because you've had enough of it? No, of course I haven't. I mean, it does get burnt out to like particular subgenres, like I'll just stop listening to thrash for a while, or stop listening to death or something, but I just listen to other ones. I might, if I'm not listening to thrash, I might listen to some atmospheric black, and if I'm not listening to death, I might listen to some post-metal. There's so much variety in metal. I never get sick of metal completely. I just rotate between different genres at the moment I'm listening to, particularly a lot of prog-based stuff and a lot of prog metal, so, you know, stuff like Dream Theater, Porcupine Tree are far more my jam at the moment than Morbid Angel and At the Gates, for example. Do you have any siblings? Yeah, I have a sister. Do you think humans, by their very nature, are self-centered? Wow, another just random question here. This is a topic I could talk for a very long time. I think it's very interesting. It's a philosophical question. That type of thing's right up my alley. But I'm not going to take forever with answering this, because most people probably don't want me to go on some philosophical tangent about human nature. But I generally take what's called a Hobbian view, which is after Thomas Hobbes' view on human nature, which is basically the idea that humans are kind of selfish and are kind of dicks to each other. And it's one of the primary reasons I've never really been able to fully believe in communism or anarchism. While I sympathise with those positions and I think they're pretty nice in theory, I just don't think that with human nature as it is, that they could ever work, and I think that social hierarchies are always inevitable. But that's a very tough thing, it's very difficult to talk about in a minute. So yeah. Do you think there will be a war within the next 5 years? Well, I bloody hope not. I don't know if there'll be a war next 5 years. Who the hell can know that? No one can predict that. Do you like DJ Shadow? No. I have listened to Introducing. Didn't do anything for me. Do you have faith in humanity? Wow, another really broad question here. I wouldn't ever generalise to an extent and say, I don't think it's right to say you either have faith in humanity or don't have faith in humanity. I think you've got to take it more on a case-by-case basis and an individual-by-individual basis. I have faith in particular individuals and I don't in others. I don't generally have that much faith in strangers doing anything for me, and they probably don't for me doing anything for them. But I don't know, it's a very, again, a topic that I could speak for a long time about, but difficult to condense. 50. Do you think that aliens exist and are already on the planet and working with the government on secret trade-off projects? Wow, this sounds like something coming straight out of David Mustaine's mouth. Aliens probably do exist. I mean, again, it depends what you define as aliens. If you define alien as any form of life not living on this planet, even if it's just like a microorganism, then it's like 99.9% in the universe, there will be life. As Douglas Adams says, the universe is really, really, really big. And you can't understate that. So sure, there will be alien life somewhere, but whether it's sentient or as intelligent as us or able to communicate, who the hell knows? And if there are like sentient beings, I suppose you're implying, are they working with the government on secret trade-off projects? Okay, I'm going to take Occam's razor that they're probably not. And then lastly, now I've finished almost all the singularities questions, from allmediareviews.blogspot.com, he says, have you heard the Blind Faith album deluxe edition, specifically 4 jams on the bonus disc, and what are your thoughts on them? Well, I've heard the Blind Faith album, but unfortunately I haven't heard the deluxe edition, mainly because I don't own it, and I don't tend to listen to bonus tracks unless I buy the album, I suppose. I can't really be bothered going on Spotify or YouTube and just listen to bonus tracks. I'll listen to it if I own it. And I definitely do want to get a Blind Faith album because I think it's pretty good, even if the album cover is not in the slightest, and I always wonder why. It's one of those albums on vinyl I think that you'd just be too embarrassed to buy, so I'll probably buy it on CD for that. But yeah, I mean, I'll buy deluxe edition probably eventually, but I don't have any thoughts on it at the moment. So yeah, this has been the final part of the Q&A. Thanks for watching, comment, subscribe, and long live rock and roll.